Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Skepsis, a channel where you subscribe to hear about cryptocurrencies, Cardano, money, liberty, and other topics. I'm Christos from the Evergreen State, Washington. Today, I want to clarify a few things about Cardano and staking, because yesterday the conversation I had with a friend from the CrossFit gym, I realized that not everything is clear regarding staking and how the rewards are calculated, and what happens with the tokens that you stake and all that. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it. The first thing I want to clarify is that on Cardano, staking is a trustless operation. In other ecosystems, like Ethereum for example, Ethereum you need 32 ethers to be able to run a staking pool in order to get rewards. And the way, if some people cannot reach that number of 32, they have to pool their resources and create a node. In Cardano, that notion does not exist. We are running a trustless operation. You do not relinquish control of your tokens at any moment. I have to stress this enough so everybody can understand this. Your tokens are safely stored in your wallet. When you stake your tokens, you just delegate your voting power to a pool. So let's say you have 1,000 tokens. Those 1,000 tokens are proportionate to 1,000 votes, and that gives me more chances to be selected to mine the next block. So the tokens, again, are safely stored in your wallet. You never send them to anyone, not to the pool, not to anyone. They are stored on your private wallet. The second thing I want to clarify is the size of the pools. So once you realize that, okay, staking is safe, I can stake my Cardano to some pool and get rewards, which pool? A big or a small? How does it work? How do I get the most rewards? How do I make the most good to society? How do I choose a proper pool? So let's say that there is one big pool that has 5 million ADA. That's not a big pool, by the way. It's just bigger than one I'm trying to show here. And one small one that has 1 million ADA. So this one has more chances of producing blocks than this one. So let's say that on this epoch, this pool produced 10 blocks. And this pool produced 2 blocks. We will talk a little bit later about the fee, the 340 network fee, but in general, of course, this is going to be almost 5 times more than this, the rewards, but this guy has to divide it to 5 million tokens. So we have to split the pie into 5 pieces. Each piece is for 1 million ADA. So this pie here is about the same as this whole pie here. With that out of the way, now let's get into it a little more deeper. So what happens when my pool, for example, produces 1 block? It means that it verifies the transactions that happened in that block that past 20 seconds. And then I get some rewards in the amount of about 680 to 700 ADA. From this rewards, 340 ADA is the minimum that one pool can keep. I cannot keep less than that. I wish I could. I wish I could give more Cardano to the delegators so that would increase my ROA, my return on ADA, but I cannot increase that number. So this 340 stays at the pool, and the rest, 340 to 360, are divided to the delegators. If I produce 2 blocks in that epoch, I will get about 1400 ADA. I will still keep only 340, and the rest, 1060, are going to be given to the delegators. So this shows here the difference between producing a small amount of blocks and a big amount of blocks. But as we said before, if you have a small pool, you have to divide your pie to a smaller piece. But if you have a big pool, you have to divide your pie to many more delegators. So overall, the system is designed to return about 5% per year. There is one more thing we have to consider when we decide which pool we want to delegate our Cardano to. The big pools usually have a tax fee on top of the 340. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4%, 5%, 6%. It can be 99%. Nobody does that, but of course, it's usually between 3 and 5%. But there is the technical ability to tax your rewards. So let's say a pool produced 50 blocks. It has 50 blocks. Let's say that it's saturated with 66 million ADA, and that each block averaged 700 ADA. So that means that the total pie is 35,000 ADA for that epoch. From that 35,000 ADA, it will reduce 340, which is insignificant, and then it will also reduce, let's say, a 5%, so another minus 1750, and then that would give us 32,910 ADA for the delegators. But this time, this has to be divided by a big pie of 66 million ADA. Okay, now we are ready to talk about numbers. I'm going to compare 3 pools. Our pool, 1.4 million, Aztec, I took it randomly, about 3 million, and Bloom, almost saturated with 55 million. So the first thing that hits your eye is this, 1.47%. This seems low, but this is only for the last 30 days. And because, as we explained before, the 1.4 million is not a big number for a pool, this means that this number is not steady. You can have 1 month 8%, the other month 1.5%. It varies, but all in all, it will normalize in a course of a year or more at about 4.3%. We'll show those numbers later. The lifetime, again, shows about 3% because in the beginning, we did not have we were like 60,000 Cardano for a couple months, and then we didn't produce blocks. So this takes into consideration all those months that we didn't have a big pool yet. What is really interesting here to show is the rewards percentage. So with this size of a pool that we have 28% probability to have 0 blocks. 35% to have 1, 22% to have 2 blocks, 9.55% to have 3 blocks, etc., etc. This means that when we produce 0 blocks, the rewards are 0 for that epoch. But when we produce 2 blocks, the rewards will be more than average. And let's look at an example on the past 10 epochs. So 303 we had 0 blocks. 302 we had 1 block here, when we should have had 1.3, which is our percentage statistically, but we had 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. So this is a month here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 epochs is 1 month. So this averages 5 times 1.7 and 1 times 0, about the 1.3 that you saw. The previous month we had bigger luck. We had 0, 12%, 0, 1.9, 9.4, 1.98. So we had in blocks 0, 4, 0, 1, 3, and 1. Overall, about 7%, if I recall correctly. Let's see a bigger pool. This one has about 3 million live stake. And it has 5% chances of producing 0 blocks. And more chances of producing 2 and 3 blocks. So it is a little more stable. It has 2.6, 3.8, 2.1, 7.6, 5.2, and then it averages about 4.8 or whatever it does. A big pool though, like this one, 55 million, is showing us a normal distribution curve here, where it most likely produces around 41, 42 blocks per epoch. So that's why these numbers are even more stabilized. I mean, it looks like they were going through some bad luck here. But usually you find patches of period that is always 4.5, 4.5. And then it stabilizes to about 4.4% a year. Lifetime 4.9. And then let's see the saturation curve. This is the curve which shows what is the percentage expected for a stake size. These are millions, and this is the percentage. So for 1 million Cardano, you should expect about 2.66. And again, I remind that this number does not calculate the tax fee, the 5 or 10% that, or 6 or whatever percent that the pool will keep from your rewards. So 1 million, 2.66, 2 million, 3.94, 3 million, 4.37%, 4 million, 4.58, and then after this, it is rising very, very slowly. It doesn't really matter. After this 3-4 million ADA, the return does not really change. So at some point, it reaches the saturation, which is 66 million, and after that, it starts dropping. We don't want to be too centralized. We want the whole pie to be distributed to more smaller pools. So that's why the return drops on a larger pool. And there is talk about changing this variable from 500 to 1,000. So that would mean that instead of saturated in 66 million, it would be saturated at 33 million. So that would mean that you would get about 5% here. And then after 33 million, you would start losing. So that would force people to take their money out of very large pools and put them into smaller pools in this area, the 2, 3, 4 million Cardano area. Finally, let's go through this first tab here to show what each metric means. Live stake is the amount of stake that was taken on the previous snapshot, so in the end of the previous epoch. Active stake is the amount of stake that is currently on your pool. Epoch blocks, how many blocks you produced this epoch. Lifetime blocks, the total amount of blocks that one pool has produced. Lifetime return on stake. The first epoch was when the pool started, 248. Epoch fee is 340, is the minimum, but somebody can change it to a standard of 380, 400, 500, whatever. Variable fee is the tax fee that I mentioned before. We have 0. Our pledge is 20,000 Cardano, which means if we are not good actors and we make something wrong in our code and we validate transactions that are not supposed to be validated, then we will lose our pledge. Lifetime rewards, 14,700 Cardano. Lifetime fees, 6.8 thousand. Lifetime stake is the stake accumulated per epoch. And online relays, 100%. So this shows that our relays never ever missed a heartbeat. Even larger pools, you see 99.9, 99.8. Our pools are running strong. We never missed a block. We never missed a heartbeat. I hope I explained it pretty well. If not, please comment down below and let me see if I can rephrase or explain something better in more detail. I will also have to add that when you decide which pool you want to stake to, you should also look into their mission. What good does that pool bring to society? In which way? Is it just a for-profit pool? Does it have a good community? Does it produce content on the web that helps propagate the message of the blockchain and decentralization to the world? If you just care about that little difference that you can make from a bigger pool, it's probably the best. Unless their fees, the tax fee is very high, the small pool cannot beat a bigger one. But let's say what the difference is. It's 50 Cardano a year. It depends on your stake, of course, but it's not a huge difference. 4.4 and 4.9 is a 0.5%. It's a year. It's not a huge difference in any case. If you're going to use your money to help in a cause. So again, what we have to look for is the epoch fee, the variable fee or tax fee, and online time, of course, how strong that pool runs. And don't worry so much about the last 30 days of the return for smaller pools. For bigger pools, if the last 30 days is too low, it might indicate that something is wrong, like they're missing blocks or something, I would say. But in small pools, it's absolutely normal for the luck to deviate a lot. That would be all for today. I hope I explained the staking procedure somewhat. Thank you so much for joining. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And see you next time. Bye-bye.